Bengals Steelers, the rivalry of all rivalries for this Bengals team reignites again this Sunday. Things are a lot different this time around. This is a Steelers defense that was so dominant last season that they managed an 8-8 season with Ryan Finley at quarterback. Well, close to Ryan Finley. Actually, it was the Bengals that had Ryan Finley at quarterback while they went up against the Steelers in one of those games last season. In other words, you can't really judge anything about this game based on last season's matchups. The center focus for me, I think, and for everyone, it's going to be a Steelers defense that leads the league in sacks, quarterback hits, pressures per play, going up a Bengals offensive line that has struggled mightily throughout the season, but has at the same time just came off of arguably its best game of the season last week, where it went out there and threw 4 non-starters into the lineup. And now again, we're looking at a potential COVID reserve type of issue creeping up on some of these offensive linemen again this week. So we'll see what happens there. And without question, we're going to all have to wonder what combination Coach Taylor throws out there this week and how effective can it be at slowing down the Steelers pass rush. They won't stop it. Point blank, period. You're not stopping that Steelers pass rush, period. It's just too dominant. The question is, though, can you slow it down enough to give Joe Burrow some time, at least on, more plays than not, to work with what he has on this offense? One of the bigger concerns we've seen in that Ravens game against the Bengals was you got to the fourth quarter and the Bengals literally threw in the towel. They said, please end it. We're just going to hand the football off the rest of the game. We're tired of seeing our future franchise quarterback of the future, I guess we would say there, taking these hits. Because he was just getting obliterated back there. So they said, that's it. Here's what's different, though. This is a Steelers secondary that, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick studding a half back there at safety. But, for the most part, you don't have the same guys on the corner in Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters that are more than capable of locking guys down in man-to-man coverage all game and bringing those pressures. The Steelers secondary, they're going to leave guys open. They're going to leave a lot more players open, where if Burrow can find the open man and hurt this team down the field, he's got the ability to do so. And I think the other difference between Steelers-Ravens here is, again, you see them draw up all these pressure packages. The Steelers have been, so far this season, pretty notorious for being an all-or-nothing defense. And by that, I mean they're going to bring it all. You better make the stop, because if not, they're going to leave some holes in the defense downfield. Or if you don't stop the run game, we've seen this a lot this year, they have been absolutely dominant at stopping the run game this season. But guess what? You get to that second level of that defense and guys are shooting down the field. We've seen what Sanders did it. Melvin Gordon did it. There was a plethora of running backs that have done that against the Steelers defense when they get to that second level, gash off large run plays. And for that reason, it's something, the Bengals are going to have to stick with here and hope they can get one of them themselves this week. If you're the Bengals, at mixing plays, Bernard, whichever ends up being the starter here for these Bengals. Again, early to tell at the, recording of this video. Friday will be out and we'll probably have a better understanding of Mixon's going to play or not there. Usually Friday's injury report comes out, gives us a pretty good clue at that one there. And maybe the most important thing here is, Joe's already come out and said it. He's learned a lot from that Ravens game. As he's done throughout the season, it is a man that likes to reflect, learn, get better. And I don't think he's going to make the same mistakes he did against that Baltimore Ravens team. He understood he held onto the football too long. And again, like we said, I think these, short interim routes, they're going to be open a lot more against a Steelers defense than they were against a Ravens defense. And Joe's done a really good job in that area this season. So I think he's going to have a lot more success pushing the football down the field against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense this week. And, the biggest question for the Steelers entering this, Big Ben, he's going to play. As of right now, again, as long as he tests clean, he's going to be good to go. But he's currently on the COVID reserve list because he was Vance McDonald he was on, or Vance McDonald tested positive. He flew back home with, I think that's what it was. Vance McDonald, we're going to say there. So as long as he comes back clean, he can play. If he doesn't, that could be a completely different story for this Pittsburgh Steelers offense running, Rudolph back there and back up. But overall, though, this is a Pittsburgh Steelers team that is 8-0 this season. I don't think it's the same dominant Steelers offense that it was a couple years ago. Connor's not popping off 5 yards per carry. Big Ben isn't anywhere close to on pace to throw in for 5,000 yards on the season. And if there is one thing you still do worry about against the Steelers team is they do got Juju, who appears to finally be starting to find his footing here these past couple weeks. You got the combo of Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Eric Ebron that really could pose some difficulties for this Bengals secondary. We've seen the tight end position really exploit the Bengals here week in and week out, especially specifically in the red zone. So we'll see if that combination could hurt this Bengals team. Overall, though, I think this game could surprise some people. And it might not end up being a shootout. This might be a 20-23 type game, a 23-27. I guess you could call it high scoring. For the Bengals defense and Bengals games here, it's a little bit lower scoring. That's what we see in these Bengals Steelers games, though. Things start to tighten up a little bit. And I think what the Bengals are going to do this week, 23-27, I really do believe in these Bengals upsetting the Steelers for their first loss of the season this week. Let's see if it happens. We're hoping it happens. We're saying 23-27 Bengals, though, fellas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.